It's week 9 of the IHSA football season, and tonight we are in Mackinaw for a Heart of Illinois Conference battle that has big implications as the playoffs grow closer. It's the 5-3 Eureka Hornets in Mackinaw tonight to face the 6-2 Deer-Creek Mackinaw Chiefs. Hello, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast. I'm Joey Wright with Gavin Russell. Gavin, it's about everything you could ask for in a Week 9 battle. It's finally too cold for us to wear the Clutch Sports Media polos. Got to put the hoodies on, the long pants, the long socks. It's going to get a little bit chilly tonight, not unbearable. It's football weather. We're ready to go.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a fun game. Whenever you get two state playoff-bound teams, potentially Eureka getting in as well, that's just going to be really fun. Not to mention, both these teams grind it out. They're going to be on the gridiron tonight having a lot of fun, so it should be a very competitive game.
What do you think we're looking out for tonight?
Well, we got a lot of young players coming for Dee-Mack, but there's still a lot of talent out here. No matter experienced or younger players, there's just going to be a lot of talent. Expect a lot of big plays tonight from both teams.
It's going to be electric here at Jim McDonald Field in Mackinaw. Our own Jonathan Michael caught up with Deer-Creek Mackinaw head coach Cody Myers. Here's what he had to say about DMac's chances tonight.
Here with DMacc Chiefs head coach Cody Myers. Now, Coach, coming into this one at 6-2, you guys have said you have a young team. Just describe what your young guys have been able to do this year and how excited you are for the future, even next year.
Well, I'll start off. We're just super excited for these guys and the opportunity to play in a Week 9 game that's so important. Eureka has a great team. They smoked us last year, so it's pretty cool to just have an opportunity. We've already qualified for the playoffs, so we're just kind of out here to enjoy the night with our young kids. This is a great test for the playoffs.
Definitely. Now, Coach, who are some players that you think that we should watch tonight, both on your side and players that you've been game planning for over on Eureka?
Well, obviously, anytime you have a Eureka quarterback, they do a great job with their quarterback. So he runs the entire offense over there, and we really have to look out for him. But for us, our right guard, Lance Barnwalt, our right tackle, Peyton Stauffer, and our tight end, who usually plays on our strong side, Gabe Sherman. Those three have done a phenomenal job all year, along with our backfield. I know our sophomore running back has around 900 yards, and our quarterbacks do a lot of lead block, and we really don't have a true quarterback. Carson Cassidy and EJ Baez do most of the blocking for those guys up front, and we're a little old school in that sense.
Gotcha. So going into, you're going in the locker room, what's the message you're telling your team tonight ahead of this game?
Oh, absolutely have fun. It has taken so long. It feels like through the course of COVID and everything that we've all went through to get to a night like this in front of all the people that are going to be here. This is a great game in Central Illinois and high school football the night before the playoff pairings.
Thanks for that, Jonathan. Gavin, your takeaways from what I think is a pretty confident Coach Myers.
Absolutely. I mean, he said just go out there and have fun. I mean, they're already in for the state playoffs. It's a big game, though. It's a rivalry game, like he mentioned. So he wants his guys to go out there, no pressure, just have a good time and play a solid game.
DMacc struggled through the spring season, impacted by COVID, but they have bounced back tonight, 6-2. Coach Myers confident, ready to go. Gavin, we also talked with Eureka head coach Jeff Bachman. Unfortunately, technical difficulties prohibiting us from showing that, but he also seemed confident. Eureka 5-3. They need this win for playoff seeding.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've kind of struggled through a few games this year, but they've been in a lot of close matchups. So this would be a great opportunity to come on the road as a spoiler on senior night on the rivals field and really take a big win. That could be a big momentum swing if they can get into playoffs.
We'll see if the Hornets can get it done or if the Chiefs will reign victorious on their home field. We'll go up to the booth for Clutch Sports Media's live coverage of Heart of Illinois Conference football. From Mackinaw, Illinois, Clutch Sports Media is live from Jim McDonald Field tonight. It's a Heart of Illinois Conference battle in the 9th week of the IHSA football season. The Eureka Hornets have come to Mackinaw to face the DMacc Chiefs. Hello, everybody, and welcome live into the broadcast. Joey Wright, Gavin Russell, and the entire Clutch Sports Media team. Happy to have you along for the ride. Gavin, we talked a lot at the top of the show about youth. Two young teams in a good position entering the playoffs. Both have a job to do tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, they're playoff-bound teams. They play great football. They're historically really good football teams. well coached, and there's a lot of people on hand tonight for a good football game.
It's going to be a good one indeed. The host Chiefs 6-2, the Hornets 5-3, looking for a road win to cap the season. And Gavin, let's start there. The Eureka Hornets 5-3, as we said, entering the season. You get that 5th win, you become playoff eligible. You still leave a little to chance, but Eureka, the way things look with playoff points, they look to be in good shape. They're going to make the playoffs. The question, where will they be seated, and how will they bounce back from a 29-7 loss at home against Tri-Valley last week?
Well, that was a tough loss, but we know Tri-Valley is a very good team. And, something to note, Eureka's had 6 wins in each of their last 4 seasons. So maybe trying to get to that mark again. They've been a very good team, though, and even if they can't pull out the win tonight, they should be able to come out and make some noise in the playoffs. Consistency
is key. We'll see if the Hornets can snag that, what'd you say, 4th consecutive 6-win season?
It would be 5th this year if they can snag the win tonight.
Would be 5th if they can get the job done. And DMacc has gotten a couple of jobs done this season, 6-2. One of those losses was to Tri-Valley in Week 2. Of course, the Vikings have not lost this season. That other loss was to El Paso Gridley right here in Week 4. But they come in off 4 straight wins, including a 36-0 win against Fieldcrest last week. So DMacc perhaps peaking at the right time.
Well, they've been really good this year. I believe they've posted 2 shutouts this year, including a win against Tremont, and that's not an easy team to beat either. They've been very defensively charged, a tough team to play even with the younger players. We should see a good effort from them tonight on the home field.
That win against Tremont you mentioned, defensively charged indeed, 12-0. That was at Tremont, and that's always, whenever the Chiefs and Turks get together, that's a charged rivalry. Those are 2 teams that love to hate each other.
Absolutely. I mean, again, a lot of rivalries within these small schools. Small school football is a different atmosphere, really well played, and there's a lot of passion around the game here.
The Heart of Illinois Conference, one of the better conferences in the area, encompasses a couple of regions, some smaller communities, as well as some larger ones. There's a good mix in the HOIC.
Definitely again, a lot of passionate fan bases around the area, but nothing better than some small school action. Again, not maybe a ton of fans, but it's really the heart and soul of these teams are the fans and the parents that support these players out here. So again, a lot of great football we should see tonight, and a lot of good, atmosphere.
This is a bit of a rivalry in itself. Eureka and Deer-Creek Mackinaw, 2 schools, as we say, that don't like each other very much. Eureka, a team that, as you said, has experienced a couple of good years in a row on the gridiron. DMacc had a lot of success under 2 Hall of Fame head coaches, Jim McDonald and then Joe Blindboom, not a Hall of Famer yet, but likely to kind of get himself into that conversation. Had a lot of success right here, not on this field necessarily, but the one that DMacc used to play on right behind it up until a few seasons ago. They've kind of got themselves back into a good position. 6-2 in Cody Meyer's 2nd season. I talked to him on Tuesday. He said, year 1, maybe not quite the success on the field that we wanted, but they laid a good foundation for a lot of good young guys to come in this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last year was tough for a lot of teams with COVID. Some teams just weren't able to get and do the exact things that they wanted to do last season, but they've really responded nicely. Cody Myers has them going in a good direction. Again, very defensively charged. They're starting to put the pieces on offense together, and really in a couple of years, once all these young guys are more experienced, they could be back in the conversation for a state championship.
They certainly could be. A good run for the Chiefs a couple of seasons ago. And some key guys we're going to keep an eye on for DMacc defensively. You look at some of these defensive backs. Tice Albritton, Lucas Blumeyer, and then a lot of guys on the defensive line as well. Lance Barnwalt, Connor Huff. Who are we keeping an eye on specifically for DMacc this evening?
Well, I don't know if there's necessarily one player that you can keep an eye on totally. They have 8 seniors coming out today. I got to give a shout-out to somebody I ran into at work over the summer, Tate Albritton, extremely athletic. He's a cross-country runner previously, before he started playing football, also a track runner. He's actually a really good watch in the secondary. We'll see if he can come up with any big plays. But, again, the seniors are really going to help support those young guys, especially up front. We should see a lot of running today, so really going to be a battle of the defense and offensive lines and see who can control that.
And that DMacc defense is going to have a tough time with Jacob Morin, the quarterback for Eureka. He's only a junior. He has lit up defenses this season. Number 12 in white going to be a big part of that Hornets game plan.
Absolutely. I mean, we heard Cody Myers say earlier, whenever Eureka has a quarterback, they coach him up really well. They get them in the position to win, and they really put them, in kind of control of the offense. So a quarterback for Eureka is usually dangerous.
They can move, they can escape the pocket, and they can make throws. It's a positioning group the Hornets have had a lot of success with over the last couple of years. You see on your screen the scene here in Mackinaw tonight, although Deer Creek not far away at all, the field and the school itself in Mackinaw. But you look at the cheerleaders on the field, look just beneath us in the stands. A lot of folks have the inflatable thunder sticks going at it, having some fun. The school song is just about set to play as the Chiefs get set to make their first appearance tonight, and they run through the band. The DMacc Chiefs are on the field. Out to midfield, you see the Hornets looking on in the background. It is a great atmosphere here tonight. Eureka has traveled exceptionally well in the visiting section across from us. The camera doesn't quite capture it right now, but the home section, pretty full, if not full. There was a bit of a rain shower about a half hour ago that maybe perhaps put a damper on a couple of folks getting out here as early as they would have otherwise, but certainly expecting a big crowd and a rowdy crowd tonight at that.
Absolutely. I mean, you see the Thunder Sticks out. Everybody's fired up. It's week 9, heading into the playoffs. A lot riding on this game, just being a rivalry game, so really going to be a fun one to watch.
If you're just joining us, glad to have you along for the ride on ClutchSportsIL.com. I'm Joey Wright. He's Gavin Russell. The entire team out here ready to go as the DMacc school song gets set to play. The Chiefs 6-2 entering this one. The Eureka Hornets 5-3. DMacc has locked up a playoff berth in that 2A class. Eureka looks like they will get in, almost certainly will get in. 5 wins, you do leave a little to chance, but the way the playoff outlook looks with the playoff points and everything that Eureka needs, they are in good shape for the playoffs. And so this really becomes a tune-up. You don't want to say tune-up because you need as many wins as you can for seeding, but it's a great battle to have in Week 9 going into a playoffs or a playoff scenario where you're going to see schools from all over the state.
Yeah, I mean, DMacc, again, they have it more locked up, as you mentioned, and that's why Cody Myers, I think, is trying to take the pressure off. Obviously, it's a big game. You want to come out and play your best. You really want to play a tough team like Eureka to prep yourself for the playoffs. But, again, not putting too much pressure on the guys where they might crumble a little bit. But you look at Eureka, again, they're not complete lock at this point, but they're going to come out and play a solid game. The coach is going to have them in the right frame of mind. They're just going to come out and do what they would any other week, try to get that lock up that playoff.
You never want to enter the playoffs with 5 wins anyways. Even if you've got the playoff berth clinched before Week 9 at 5 wins, you want to get that 5th win, or that 6th win, I should say, because of seeding. Because at 5 wins, you're likely going to play one of those top seeds in the state.
Yeah, there are a lot of good teams, especially in the small school circuit. They've played Tri-Valley. They've played some really good teams in the 1-2A class range. So, getting 6 wins can really help you going forward.
That Tri-Valley team we've mentioned, 8-0, leading the Heart of Illinois Conference standings entering the final week. That's a team that you don't want to run into. The Vikings have a special thing going this season as we will pause for the national anthem at Jim McDonald Field. A great rendition of the Star Spangled Banner by the Deer-Creek Mackinaw High School marching band. You see they're wearing ponchos as they walk off the field. It was, when we left for DMacc, a pretty clear forecast, but a cell popped up over central Illinois and didn't quite soak us about a half hour before this one, but it came down pretty steadily. So, Gavin, the field is wet. Really, everything's got that nice shine to it, and on a beautiful turf field that plays fast even when there is no moisture. It could be a little slippery in the early going.
It could be, but, you think of it, the turf versus maybe some natural grass, it's going to drain a little bit better, but at the same time, whenever you get the elements involved, anything is possible, especially with teams that like to run the ball. So running the ball, they might slip around a little bit, but we'll see what can happen tonight.
You see on your screen kickoff temperature right around 50 degrees. There is almost no wind. What wind there is blowing west. Should be 1 to 5 miles per hour for most of the game. Wouldn't expect any gusts. No chance of rain moving forward, we think. Although, as the pregame festivities prove, we'll see what happens. As we're ready to go, Eureka in white, DMacc in red. The Chiefs trying to defend home field in Week 9. The Hornets looking for a big road victory. Handling the kicking duties, Pete Bresner for the Hornets, and we're ready to go. Glad you're with us on ClutchSportsIL.com. Pop some popcorn, sit back and relax as we get underway. DMacc returning this one from the 9-yard line. Hornets do a good job of bringing the cavalry in, and at the 20-yard line is where DMacc will start its first drive.
Well, a lot of this game is going to be how the offensive line can block, and in that case, not great blocking there. Eureka came up and attacked that kickoff, so not great field position to start, but again, lots of time just starting the game. Should see a good start here from both teams.
Right at the 20. Call it a touchback as we get things going. And the Chiefs on the field for the first time. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, 80 yards in front of the Chiefs. Out of the gun, snap, and a little reverse here as we get going. Bouncing it into the near side is Lucas Blumeyer. Blumeyer still on his feet as he gets past the 30. A flag does come in late, but a good carry from Blumeyer pending the flag would be enough for the first down to start this game out.
Good carry, just might have a penalty bringing him back. It looks like they will be heading backwards. Nice moves there, though. Good athleticism. Looked like pretty good blocking up until the end there. We're going to see a lot of that tonight, a lot of those outside runs on the strong side. See if maybe they can rebound here after the early penalty.
That flag, a hold, will bring them back. First down and 13 now as they move the sticks back, and that's never good, Gavin, to wipe out a first down run, play one with a penalty.
Absolutely. You want to keep moving the ball forward, not backward. It's pretty obvious, but again, first play of the game, want to keep the ball moving forward, get that confidence.
Quarterback Ethan Baez moves out. Another direct snap this time as the Hornets defense crashes in. Another nice play. Or I should say the first real nice play we've seen from Eureka tonight as they cruise in past the penalty and make a nice play. Dakota Wiegand on the stop, and it looked like Ben Jablonski had a little bit to do with that as well. We talked about it at the top of the show. This game's going to be won. The front 5 of the offense versus the front 3, 4, 5 of the defense.
There's some young players on that offensive line for the Chiefs. We'll see if they can come up big here in the Week 9 battle.
Baez sends a man in motion. And DMacc on second down moves the line, the line of scrimmage, past the original marker. So 3rd and manageable. Brent Denniston running a nice offense thus far. Ethan Baez in on a lot of plays as well. Blumeyer, if you're just joining us, had a first down carry called back on the Chiefs' first play from scrimmage. A hold brought that one back. Man in motion, Blumeyer. Baez the snap. Option, Baez is going to take it himself. Past the line of scrimmage into midfield. Pushed out along the sidelines. It's a first down and a lot more for Ethan Baez. called Blumeyer over, called him off, took it himself, a nice gain.
Really nice option play there. Had the Hornets fooled, had all the defenders gravitating towards that running back. Really good read there to take the ball for a big gain.
Baez sparks some life into the Chiefs' offense as they move into Hornet territory. First down of the game. 4 linebackers now. The Hornets couldn't figure that out on the line of scrimmage, and taking advantage is Brent Deniston. Nice carry up the middle, and it looked to me like a little miscommunication there as Eureka couldn't quite shift into the right spot.
Well, coming off that big play, the Hornets may be a little bit shaken up, not getting back quite the way they had started this game, pretty dominant. So we see that momentum already seesawing back and forth, and see if DMacc can continue to ride that all the way to the end zone.
2nd down and 4 as DMacc starts to drive. Chiefs looking for win number 7 on the year. Eureka looking for its 6th win. Man in motion, that's Gabe Schuerman. Schuerman shores up that right side of the line and paves a path for Deniston on the carry. Deniston up past the 30-yard line. They'll mark him right at the 30-yard line.
Being able to move the ball forward, even if it's just 4 or 5 yards, it's getting yourself close, getting yourself an opportunity to move the sticks, and that's what they've kind of been doing on these last couple plays.
And they don't need much at all on 3rd and inches. What's the play call here?
I'd say just go right up the middle. It's been working. Offensive line's been solid so far.
Chiefs starting to figure it out early on in drive 1. Here's Deniston. Deniston, nifty handoff up the middle. It goes to Blumeyer. Blumeyer has more than enough for the 1st down. Blumeyer has gotten the breadth of the carries, it seems, early on for DMacc. And Deer-Creek Mackinaw keeping Eureka on its toes. A lot of option here as we start things out.
There's a lot of ways that they can go with the ball, and it really looks like the Hornets just have not gotten settled in. They really don't know where the play is going to go. And, again, they started the game well, just need to kind of shore that up now.
DMacc knocking on the door of the red zone at the Eureka 23, 1st and 10. First downs aplenty here early on. You see, watch the pocket before these plays as Baez moves his men around. Baez takes a big hit up the middle. Eureka steps up. If Baez gained anything there, it was maybe a yard.
Well, he tried to go back with the keeper. We've seen that a few times from the dueling quarterbacks here for DMacc. Maybe they need to try to mix it up a little more. Eventually, Eureka's going to catch on and start to shut that down. But we've seen some nifty plays here early on from DMacc. Cody Myers has got this team moving in the right direction, and certainly right direction on the field right now.
Cody Myers in his 2nd year at the helm of this Deer-Creek Mackinaw program, a storied program, has the Chiefs moving towards success. And here's Blumeyer moving towards the outside. Didn't have much. So now if you're on the Eureka sideline, and they're led by Jeff Bachman, who has done a tremendous job with that program. You've made 2 stands in a row after DMacc has started to move the ball. You've got to look at this as 3rd and a great opportunity.
Bend, don't break. That's something I always say for defenses. You give up a few big plays, they're moving down the field, but if you can limit them to 3 or nothing, that's going to be huge, kind of eliminates those big plays.
3rd and 9. You see 3 wide receivers. We'll see if DMacc moves towards a pass. We've not seen the Chiefs pass yet tonight. Man in motion, that's been a staple of this offense, and it is a handoff in the backfield, but you see that Eureka defense doing a nice job as the ball carrier forced out of bounds. That was Blumeyer on the carry, a flag down inside the red zone at the 18-yard line. Saw one referee indicate that it might be a hold early on. And they will pick the flag up. No flag on the play.
Really nice stand there from the Hornets. Again, we saw that earlier in this drive. They had a chance to stop them way back on the other side of the field. Couldn't quite capitalize defensively, but looks like it's 4th down territory for the Chiefs potentially. They look to be huddling up, running a play here on 4th down.
4th down and 9. Do you agree with the call on 4th and 9 here as they are just on the doorstep of the red zone?
It's a bit of a risky play, but they want to get out and run with this game, see if they can craft up a big play here.
DMacc looking to set the tone early. Baez takes the snap, keeps it himself, rolls out of the pocket, fires to the end zone, incomplete. No flag in that far corner. The Eureka defense holds. Bend, don't break, as you said earlier. 1st down, Hornets.
Really nice job there. I think they may have been expecting that pass to a degree. really good spread-out defense, and they didn't really leave DMacc many options there. Again, it's a risky play, but once again, you're trying to set the tone early. And, again, Eureka's kind of pushing back with that momentum swing now.
Now we see the Hornets offense on the field for the first time tonight, led by Jacob Morin. Quarterback number 12, where have we heard that before? Eureka's version has led the Hornets to 5 wins, looking for 6. Can do a lot. And he takes the first snap, takes it right up the middle. Dropped for a gain of 1.
It's going to be a game of the lines today. Talk about the offensive line, but look at the defensive line. Coming up with a big play, Eureka very similar as well. If they can kind of break through and kind of fill those gaps, it's really going to shut down the offenses for both teams.
Rule him down for no gain. Morin with 4 wideouts. DMacc did not pass a lot on its first drive. See if the Hornets show a different look here. Morin taking his time, calls out the play. Option, back. Flag comes in after the carry. Mason Bowles, I believe, the ball carrier there, and it was Bowles. A late flag as he was moving towards the sideline down at the 25.
We'll see what this flag ends up being here. Looks like Eureka might be moving back. Going to get a hold on the offense. So, yeah, some undisciplined play here from both teams, picking up a few early penalties. Definitely something they're going to want to kind of get rid of. That's going to cost you yardage. That's going to really cost you potential scores. So, again, both teams needing to shore up the penalties a little bit here and kind of get more disciplined.
Our IHSA officiating crew tonight, referee Glenn Reinhardt, wing official Karanji Carr. The other wing official is James Scott. Ron Draper is the umpire, and the back judge is Jacob Benningfield. 2nd down and 17 for the Hornets after the penalty. And going back the other way is Carson Gold. Gold has a little space down that far sideline. Carson Gold, no one in front of him, and the Eureka Hornets will strike first. Carson Gold on the option. Goes 85 yards for the touchdown.
Talk about setting the tone early with a big run there. Kind of a trick play going the other way. Nice blocking there from the wide receivers. Gets a huge touchdown to start in this first quarter.
Carson Gold, the junior receiver, also listed as a defensive back, makes a big play, 85 yards for the score. And how big is that for the Hornets after DMacc moved the ball, first drive out, stopped short, a big stand for the Hornets, and they get that first score. Hornets on for the extra point. Now it's Mason Trent, and Trent's extra point attempt up and good. And Eureka first in front tonight.
We talk about Big Mo, me and Cody Roskins last night on the broadcast with Big Mo, the momentum, really a big swing there again. After DMacc moving the ball pretty well on that first drive, comes back with a big response play, and Eureka kind of taking control of this game early. But again, lots of football left to be played, and DMacc certainly has it in them to get back in this game.
Eureka 7, Deer-Creek Mackinaw scoreless as we take a quick break to remind you tonight's coverage is brought to you by Tony Axelson, State Farm. The real deal with a local feel. Give Tony a call at 309-685-7575 or visit TonyAxelson.com. Website and phone number at the bottom of your screen all game long, alternating off as teams switch possession. You see TonyAxelson.com at the bottom of your screen right now. Glad to have Tony aboard tonight. Proud supporter of local high school sports, and a good one tonight between Eureka and DMacc.
Absolutely. Big plays early on. We've seen some good offense and some good defense too, so expect a lot more out of this game going forward.
Trent on to kick it off. And it's a good kick that goes back to the 5-yard line. Blumeyer brings it out. Blumeyer looks for space. Everything collapses around him between the 20 and 25, and that's where DMacc will get set to start drive number 2. So the Hornets got things out. They are buzzing. I've got to go there after an 85-yard touchdown run from Carson Gold. That offense looked great in a small sample size. The DMacc offense looked good too. A lot of big plays, but they were stopped short. What's the mentality like for drive 2 here?
Just kind of reset. You were doing your thing. You just got to keep going. You can't stall out like that. They were so close to the end zone. Just got to keep it moving.
First play of this drive and space up the middle. Are we going to have another big run? Not for a touchdown this time, but it is a big run up the middle. The Chiefs strike back after the big touchdown run from Gold, and that's a big carry from Deniston.
Well, you got to reset. You got to be able to just kind of cancel out what's happened in the last few minutes and just play your game. Play like it's 0-0 and get right back into this one. Try to tie things up. That'll certainly get a drive started.
Drew Butler subs out for the Chiefs. 3 wide receivers, and it's a direct carry here for Deniston up past the 45. So Deniston starts this drive out with 2 carries. If we thought the slick field was going to play any sort of a factor, it has not so far.
No, the running has been really solid. A lot of slick cuts, some moves to the outside, things of that nature. Seems not have been too much of a factor, but we'll see what happens as the game goes along.
Not expecting any more weather as we move forward, but you never know. As here goes Baez up the middle, slipping through a couple of guys and up past the 30. That was Deniston again on the carry, his 3rd consecutive carry, and he only seems to be speeding up as this drive goes along.
Absolutely. He found a big enough hole, but I think that was more on him. He was able to make a couple of real slick cuts there. That's just a really impressive run, and he's really taking control of the Chiefs' offense so far.
Chiefs knocking on the door of the red zone again at the 26. Last drive stalled out right around this part of the field. Couple of yards ahead as Deniston again takes the snap. Look at him cut back up to the middle of the field, down at the 20. You mentioned a moment ago, Gavin, those sharp, slick cuts, and that was a nice one from Deniston. Caught a couple guys off guard and gained a little bit.
He avoided a loss there, and again, on these early downs, kind of the reason they stalled out last time, they weren't really moving the ball. It was a 4th and 9 situation, so they need to just at least get the ball in a manageable situation, even if it is 3rd or 4th down, to try to pick up the yardage and move the sticks.
2nd and 9 coming up. If I said the 20-yard line a moment ago, it is the 25. 2 men in motion, including Blumeyer and Schurman. As Deniston takes the snap, finds some space up the middle, stays on his feet after being spun around, and he works it to the 15. Has just enough for the first down. Brent Deniston.
Man, really solid so far. Can't say enough, but he's certainly the Chiefs' MVP to start out this game. Big reason they're having so much success on offense. And again, they're going to be just short here on 3rd down. But again, they get themselves into, that's going to be a 1st down actually. But they, again, moving the sticks there. Another solid run, pick up that yardage, something they didn't do on their last drive.
It's exactly what you said during their first drive. If you can get a couple runs together, 5-6 yards at a time, good things will happen. First carry after the first down. Not quite enough for the first down. As that play ended, my eyes were drawn to Taylor Birchtold and Carson Gold going at it near side after the play. Don't want to say tension starting to flare up early, more like emotion starting to flare up early.
Definitely aggressiveness from both teams. It's going to spill over into the action a little bit. But some good plays so far. Everybody's trying to be on the top of their game.
Baez back under center, but it goes again to Deniston. Deniston pushes the pile forward. Line to gain is the 7. Didn't quite have enough there. He might have. Ball from our vantage point looks as though it's spotted right along that first down marker. If he doesn't have the first, and they do mark the chains, it's 3rd and inches.
This is much better, though, than 3rd and 9 or 4th and 9 like their last drive. So, again, they're making improvements, and they're really close to getting a touchdown.
Baez again watches Deniston take the snap. Deniston moving forward. Deniston trying to move the pile forward. Look at this at the goal line. He's just short, but what an effort. And, Gavin, we keep talking about how this game's going to be won along the line. O-line, D-line, come and get it. O-line almost got a touchdown there.
Well, it really looked like good effort from the defensive line, but just stronger running, kept the legs churning, and almost had that really grinded-out type touchdown. But now, again, they put themselves in a great position. They've got 4 chances to put in the end zone.
1st and goal from the 2. Brent Deniston has been the star of this drive. in the backfield along with Baez. Snap goes to Deniston. Deniston moving forward. He's at the goal line. Is he in? Is he in? They've yet to mark him. Now he's in. Touchdown, Dee-Mack. Brent Deniston says hello. What a drive. That drive started at about the 20-yard line, and he might have gained every yard on that drive.
Absolutely. I mean, he moved the ball really well on that drive. He made some slick cuts, found those little gaps, and again, good support from the offensive line. Moved the ball much better than their last drive. And again, we've got a ball game right here. It's going to be a very tightly contested match.
Chiefs bringing the offense onto the field. They're going to go for two and the lead early on. You have that early feeling that every point will be crucial as Eureka's going to take a timeout. Or no, DMac's going to take that timeout, pardon me. Cody Myers came on the field. He didn't look like he liked the formation there. Didn't like something because he was on that field in a hurry.
Well, he's obviously looking to take some chances. You know, their 4th and 9 play, it obviously didn't work out, but he's looking to set a tone in this game. Again, the touchdown move down the field, maybe looking to take that early lead to give his guys a little bit of a spark. But once again, you want to make sure you have it right. A good timeout there from Cody Myers.
If you were with us last night in Peoria for Clutch Sports Media's coverage of Peoria, Notre Dame, and Peoria, and I suspect a couple of our viewers may have joined us for that one, it was a tremendous ball game. It came down late to, every point mattered throughout the game. PND was perfect on its extra point tries, but Peoria went for 2 a couple times. That proved to be a difference maker. They won by 5.
Yeah, again, it worked out in the long run, but it made it closer, so we see if they can capitalize here to maybe take a bit of a hold.
Here's Baez getting the snap on the 2-point conversion, and Baez from here looks to be in. He is. Ethan Baez punches it in. Cody Myers on the field celebrating, firing his team up. They don't need much to get fired up after this start. Eureka took the early lead, but DMacc marches back and retakes, or I should say takes its first lead of the night.
Well, I know they have a spark coming into this game, but they just added fuel to it. They wanted to jump out with that early lead, and again, taking the 8-7 lead, especially after that first drive didn't go the way you wanted, really good way to start to close out the first quarter.
We'll see what Eureka can do. They scored quickly last drive, an 85-yard touchdown run, but if you're DMacc, you've put together 2 nice, slow, relatively slow, we should say, drives. They've had 2 chances in this first quarter. They've capitalized on 1. But I don't know about you. I'm excited to see this Eureka offense come back out for another crack at things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're definitely going to move the ball pretty well. At least they should. But I think DMacc will tighten it up a little bit. Obviously, they gave off the big touchdown run on the last Eureka drive. Again, I think we'll see them tighten it up a little bit. But Eureka should come out with some more offensive success to end out this first quarter.
Certainly did not take them long to score at all on drive 1. Drive 2, we'll see if it yields the same results. Back deep to return, Justice Bachman. He's along that far side as it's sent back deep. Instead it'll go to the near man, Drew Dingledine. Dingledine on the return gets almost to the 30. We'll see where they spot him. A good second effort got him close. And they will mark him down just shy of the 30-yard line. No, right at the 30-yard line.
Talked about it last night on the broadcast. It's something that's overlooked, but you got to have good, solid, open field tackling. That was an example of that right there. 2 Chiefs coming up to make the stop on the return. See if they can continue that on this drive.
The key for Eureka in its couple of offensive plays was getting into the open field. Here's the first pass we've seen of the game. First completed pass, should clarify. Mason Bowles on the reception. Has enough for the first down. We did see Ethan Baez attempt one for DMacc earlier on 4th down and 9. That was incomplete to the end zone.
I think Eureka will pass a little more than DMacc, and I think it's a good idea. They're going to spread out the Chiefs a little bit more. But the Chiefs do have some really good defensive backs. They got a couple of experienced players back there, so we'll see if they can maybe shut that down. 3/4 of a minute left, first quarter.
4 wide receivers as Eureka does elect to spread that field a little bit. In motion is Bachman. Instead, a handoff that went nowhere. The Eureka defensive line, or the DMacc defensive line that would be crashing in and making the play. Lance Barnwolt on the tackle. Sets up a 2nd down and 9. And it looks like Eureka may run one more play before the quarter ends. They don't have to. Play clock is at 22.
Maybe a hard count here, something just to gain some yards in the final remaining seconds.
Play clock down to 15. The game clock expires, and that's the end of our first quarter of action. As that'll end our first quarter of play. 12 minutes on the clock for the second quarter. We'll take a quick break to remind you that tonight's coverage is brought to you by Tony Axelson, State Farm, real deal with a local feel. That's TonyAxelson.com, 309-685-7575. Tony Axelson, State Farm, glad to have him on board tonight. Proud supporter of local high school sports. Eureka and DMacc going at it this evening.
Yeah, Brent Dennison in that first quarter was really, really good. He really was the making of that drive that ended up in a score for DMacc. And once again, we've seen a lot of players, though, touch the ball. Eureka had a big run, a big chunk run for 85 yards that resulted in a touchdown as well. So big plays, but again, the defenses also have standed tall for both teams. We'll see really who's going to just control this game. The offensive line, the defensive line, it's really going to be a toss-up, but again, the second quarter will tell us a lot more.
Certainly will. Eureka starting out the second half, or the second quarter, I should say. A drop back for Morin. Bobbled and incomplete at midfield. Was going out to Drew Dingledine.
Obviously, you want to complete that pass. So once again, spreading out that defense a little bit, especially for a team that's probably going to run more than they pass. Just got to kind of keep the Chiefs' minds open there. Maybe catch them off guard with a run.
Eureka has favored the pass, while DMacc has favored the run so far. 3rd and 10, a passing situation here for the Hornets. High snap, Morin hauls it down, in trouble. Pocket collapses as he moves to the far side and caught. Pitch, catch, and what a reception that time. Cameron Manning on the reception, has just enough for the first down, and those are the plays you need to keep drives alive.
Well, the defensive line for DMacc certainly won that play, but great recovery, though, by the quarterback. High snap, recovered, made a nice throw, and he moved the sticks.
Chains move, 1st and 10. Eureka has crossed midfield. Out to the far side, caught again, and a little bit of space as the Hornets continue to move. That's Cameron Gold, had that big run earlier. Keeps it moving, 1st down.
Again, another really nice, solid throw. And again, the offensive lines are big blocking, but also the wide receivers that are out there as well, big helping out their teammates to get some open field to run. In that case, short little pass that ended up at about 10 yards.
1st and 10. Morin, the lone man in the backfield. Trips right, fires left, down the field, and it's caught for a 1st down. Squirts out after the play and incomplete. They will rule that an incomplete pass. Bulls could not hold on.
That was a 50-50 ball right there. I thought the defensive back may have made a spectacular catch there for an interception, but once again, though, it's incomplete, and a great play there from the Chiefs secondary to break up that what could have been a huge play for the Hornets. Momentum plays are always big, and that could have been one, but the Chiefs do a nice job to shut that down as we approach 2nd down.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion would have been the play of the game for Bulls. 2nd and 10. Bulls in motion. Catches it along the far side. And going back to that incompletion certainly was not due to a lack of effort.
No, absolutely not. Both players that went out for that, the defensive back as well as the receiver, put great effort into that. And again, the hands just get in there. The ball starts tipping around and just couldn't come up with it. It's one of those plays, though, as we're going to get a false start here. The offensive lineman just jumped out unnecessarily there, really looking to get there for a hard block. That's going to push them way back, though, as we're going to get a 3rd and long, 3rd and about 8, it looks like, 3rd and 9. 3rd and 9 situation. Not ideal for the Hornets. We saw this happen to Dee-Mack on their first drive. Push back on a long 3rd down, and we're going to get a timeout from Dee-Mack. Cody Myers is trying to set up a big stop here on 3rd down as they're hoping to maybe get the ball back and once again keep that momentum in the home side's favor. Great crowd on hand today, though. The student section is fired up. The band, as you may be able to hear lightly in the background, keeping a great atmosphere, something that we would have loved to see a year ago about this time. Now we're getting in full swing right here. It's a great atmosphere out here at Jim McDonald Field. Lots of passing, though, early on from Eureka. Definitely got to get the defensive backs locked in here. You don't want Eureka to be able to burn you on a long 3rd down pass. For Eureka, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to move the ball with a big play, maybe on a pass here. We will see. One man in the backfield. Takes the snap. He's going to take it himself. And the Chiefs are going to swallow that one up. And a flag coming in late on the play. Not exactly sure what that one was on, Joey, but looked like the Chiefs just swallowed that one up.
DMacc was on it, and we'll see what the flag is. That flag, early indications are that it will be a face mask.
Yeah, that didn't look like a very necessary face mask right there. You know, it looked like they could have just taken him down, but again, sometimes that hand gets in there inadvertently, and it costs the Chiefs a big stop, potentially here, as they get to move the ball a little farther forward.
3rd down and 4. Big 3rd down here. DMacc looking for a stop. Eureka trying to keep the drive alive. Handoff and a little reverse now as Justice Bachman winds up with it. Looking to the sticks along that far side, and he's brought down. The DMacc defense answers. Jared Chapman in on the stop, and that's a big stop. Now, what do you do on 4th and manageable here as you knock on the door of the red zone again? It's kind of the same situation we've seen a couple of times tonight.
We'll see. It looks like they're going to go for it. Probably too long for a field goal, but this is almost certainly a pass unless the quarterback were to take it himself. That quarterback, again, is Jacob Morin. They've got a lot of options here, though, with 5 receivers.
Too long for a field goal, not long enough for a punt. 4th down and 5. 5 wide receivers, looks like a pass as Morin takes the snap, drops back, fires to the sideline, and swatted down. The DMacc defense right there, and coming in is Tate Albritton.
I know Tate Albritton a little bit, and I know he's very athletic, so a great play up there to kind of read on that. Didn't necessarily need to try to go for the ball and be too aggressive, just knock down the pass. You get the turnover on downs, and now the offense set to get rolling again.
And Albritton came in. It was a nice pass. It was thrown well outside. And Albritton, you talked with him in front of this one, right? You got a chance to.
Yeah, he said it's a young team. He said there's a lot of learning to do, but he said they feel pretty confident. When a team feels confident, they play well.
DMacc back out onto the field. Here's Blumeyer, swallowed up at the 30-yard line. Actually, Deniston on the carry again. They've shared the load in the backfield. Mason Bowles gets in on the stop for Eureka. And that Eureka defense probably doesn't want to see much more of Deniston.
No, they'll be seeing him for a while, though. Only a sophomore. So one of those young players showing up in a big way early on for DMacc.
Blumeyer in motion, low snap, and it's a fumble in the backfield, and Baez will fall on it. For as much running as we've seen from DMacc tonight, we've not seen many errors. That time a miscommunication on the snap. Baez did a nice job of getting back and falling on it.
Maybe a bit of a problem there with the snap, but again, I think maybe the quarterback Baez looking to just kind of go a little too quickly, just wasn't able to get a hand on it, and it's going to cost them a big chunk of yardage, put them way back.
3rd down and 17 after the miscommunication on the snap. Man in motion. Baez will throw out to the flat. Screen this time for Blumeyer. Blumeyer lunges forward, but he's well short of the original line of scrimmage, let alone the first down marker. And this likely sets up our first punt of the contest.
Yeah, not how that drive DMacc would have liked to go, especially after that big stop there on 4th down that forced the turnover. Maybe you see if they try to incorporate that little screen pass more, because it looked like he tore off a good chunk of yardage, just not nearly enough for the first down.
So on 4th and 14, another high snap, but a great punt. Calling for the fair catch is Dingledine, and he hauls it in at the 46-yard line. Baez on the punt, and he had the cavalry coming. Eureka's front unit almost blocked that. Baez did a great job of sending one to Drew Dingledine.
They opted to go with the aggressive approach there, try to get the block rather than put blockers back for the return. Decent field position here for the Hornets, but the Chiefs have stood tall a couple of times now on the last couple of drives. See if the Hornets can maybe reverse the momentum.
Morin takes the snap. First play of the drive for the Hornets, as they will cross midfield. Completed pass out to Bachman, and Justice Bachman, the junior, continues to have a nice game. Really been a key target in that receiving game.
Yeah, they like those little short passes, I should say, out to the flats, maybe those little curl routes, because it gives their playmakers an opportunity to kind of run in the open field, maybe make a couple men miss, pick up some big yardage. So far, it's worked out pretty well for the Hornets. They just got to be able to take it all the way down the field and score.
From the 45, Hornets starting this drive off in a big way. Morin hauls in the high snap, rolls out. He's going to take it himself up past the 45 into the 40. And that's an example of a quarterback recognizing there's no play down the field, finding a little open patch in front of him and making a nice play.
Really nice play by the junior Morin, and again tears off a big chunky yardage there and gets himself within a really, really good 2nd and 5. Broken play, but did not result in a bad play.
And when you have a quarterback that can make those plays, sets your team up for success on 2nd and 5 from the 40. Again, this is a designed run, and he's got enough for the first down and a little extra on top of that. So Morin making a couple of nice plays with his legs.
Well, it worked so good on the prior play, they thought, let's go right back to it. We've seen that a few times, especially in the early going. Then they've kind of gone to the pass more, see if they maybe try to go with more variety of run pass here and catch the Chiefs off guard.
It's another first down for the Hornets, and Morin drops back, has all the time in the world as he slings one out, caught by Dingledine. Drew Dingledine looking for a little more, and he's lit up at the 22.
Well, it was a strong tackle, but a good move there. It's going to move the sticks, and really nice cut back in there inside. Help pick up that yardage. Again, those short passes, the playmakers can take it themselves and create some of that extra yardage.
And Drew Dingledine has emerged in the passing game as well, as much as we've talked about Justice Bachman. Bachman and Dingledine line up with each other. Running back is Mason Bowles. Just outside of the red zone, it is Bowles who's going to get the carry. He will get it to the 20. Actually, they'll mark him down just short at the 21.
The Chiefs were bound to maybe get a little bit of a stop there. The kind of getting pushed back a little bit, but a nice reverse the momentum there of this drive. Hold them short on a short run.
That's exactly what you talked about earlier. Bend, don't break, and we've seen that come into play a couple of times tonight. 5 wide for Morin. He's got a lot to work with in the passing game. Hard count hasn't fooled the Chiefs quite yet. Play clock down to 10. Morin calling out signals to everyone. Now takes the snap, drops back. Dee-Mack bringing pressure through the middle, and in on the big sack is Peyton Stouffer.
Really nice job there. They got the pressure on him quick. I think the idea there for the Hornets was survey the field for a couple of seconds. If you have an open man, maybe pass the ball, but then just take off with it. We've seen that earlier on this drive, but the Chiefs wasted no time, did not want him to get out of that pocket, was able to take him down for the sack.
That takes you from 2nd and 9 to 3rd and 14. Trips right and bowls alongside Morin. Let's see what the play call is on 3rd and long. Morin dropping back, slinging one over the middle. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Eureka. Cameron Manning hauls it in. The Hornets retake the lead. What a throw, what a catch. Touchdown, Hornets.
They did not back down on that play, and they needed that big play to pick up the first down at least. Instead, they get the touchdown.
On 3rd and 14, Morin goes to Manning, and the Hornets will go for 2. They kicked an extra point after their first touchdown. 2 go in motion, one of which Carson Gold, who scored that first touchdown. Morin rolls, fires, corner of the end zone, it's caught, and the 2-point conversion successful. Justice Bachman.
Well, they're trying to go, toe for toe here with the Chiefs, getting that 2-point conversion themselves, and again, they really want to take control of this game, push the Chiefs back a little bit, and again, taking a big momentum swing here. Just under 5 minutes, about 4:30. It's 4:33 left to go in the half, as the Hornets will kick it off in just a minute or so. The Chiefs, though, have been playing well. They got beat on that long pass, but before that, they had pushed the Hornets back to nearly having to maybe punt again or settle for a field goal. But they come up with a big play there.
Before DMAC's next drive, take a quick break to remind you that tonight's coverage is brought to you by Tony Axelson State Farm in East Peoria. It's the real deal with a local feel. Glad to have Tony on board tonight. Visit his website, tonyaxelson.com, or give him a call, 309-685-7575. Tony Axelson State Farm in East Peoria. Glad to have him on board tonight, as the Eureka Hornets have retaken the lead, 15-8 our score. They've not quite doubled up the Chiefs, but they're close as DMacc looks for a gap on that kick return. There wasn't much for Blumeyer, and they will get this drive going from the 26-yard line.
He was maybe looking to break to the outside there and find a little green grass to run, but got swallowed up. But we've seen this before. They have not had great field position to start on most of their drives. They've been able to make it out really, short, been able to move the ball down the field, even though in longer fashion.
72 yards to go as they move it up to the 28-yard line. DMacc looking to strike late in the first half. Here's Baez. Looks like an option. Looks like he's going to keep it himself. And he's down right about where he started. Looks like he gained 2 yards up to the 30. Baez, by my count, which is unofficial, has only attempted 1 pass. I believe that's all that DMacc has attempted offensively today. When Baez gets the snap, they have attempted 2. But when Baez gets the snap, by and large, it's still going to be an option with Blumeyer or Deniston, behind him.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways the Chiefs can go. See if they pull off something else here.
Here's Baez up the middle.
That one looked like a bit more of a designed run there for Baez. Again, took a pretty good chunk of yardage and gives himself a 3rd and manageable. Looks like about 3rd and 3 to go. Be good to move the sticks here, especially time starting to wind down in the first half. Under 3.5 to go.
We'll see if DMacc can bleed enough clock to strike last. They did receive the opening kickoff here, as it's a direct snap again to Deniston, and Deniston doesn't have the answer on 3rd and 3. It's going to set up 4th down. Looks like the punt unit's going to come on for DMacc, Gavin, and I've got to figure that's probably the right call for the Chiefs.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to leave anything to chance, and there's more than enough time here for the Hornets to come down the field and potentially score again, so you want to obviously give them as much field to work with as possible. Need to get a good punt off here. The Hornets are bringing the aggressiveness.
High snap. Look at Baez haul that in. Gets a high punt off, but it's still a good one. It's going to fall well short of both Dingledine and Bachman. Takes a DMacc bounce and rolls up past the 35 to the 34. Baez had to get up. That was like a receiver trying to get up and haul a pass in.
That really shows you how athletic all these players are. Even though he's punting in that scenario, we've seen him make some really tough athletic plays so far in this game, grind out for some yardage and, really helping them save some yardage there.
He's made a couple of throws, couple of runs as well, but now it's a Eureka offense that's firing on all cylinders back out onto the field. 3 wide receivers for Morin, with Bowles just behind him. See what the play call is on 1st and 10. It's a handoff to Bowles. Bowles looking for space. The offensive line does a nice job of opening up some opportunities for him as he gets it up into the 40. And on the tackle, Gabe Sherman. Sherman has been a name we've called a lot tonight. He's made a couple of plays on defense.
Certainly has. I mean, I know the Hornets have a variety of options they can use, especially with the quarterback Morin, but they like to keep their top guys getting the ball the most, and it's paid off pretty well so far.
Here's Morin to Bowles, and Bowles has a little space in front of him. Moving it up in past the 50 is Mason Bowles.
Consistency has been big here for DMacc. They've had some really big plays, some really big stops. They just haven't been able to put it quite together most of these drives to come down with a big stop on 3 or 4 downs. We'll see if maybe they can reverse that here at midfield.
A lot of times tonight they've strung 3 stops together. Play number 4 goes for a first down.
Yeah, that's really tough.
Look at Morin haul in a tough snap. A flag comes in along that far sideline, right at the 50-yard line, the line of scrimmage. And that'll be a false start.
This is a chance for the Chiefs to maybe capitalize on something like this. They go back 5 yards, even though it's first down. Chance to maybe hold them short here, maybe come up with a sack or something like that, and again, start getting that confidence back. Maybe come up with a big stop here at the end of the half.
1st and 15 now as we work it to a minute 20 left to play. Eureka trying to run what is, in essence, a 2-minute drill. They have all 3 timeouts. We'll see if they elect to go to one here as Rylan Bachman swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage and spun around, spun down, and that will keep the clock running just north of a minute left. Eureka hurries to the line. They spread it out wide, 5 wide for Morin. Morin in trouble. He's brought down. Another big sack for the Chiefs, this time a timely tackle from Lance Barnwalt, who we've called a lot up front. Eureka not electing to call a timeout despite them having all 3 left. DMacc not willing to use its last one yet either. And we may be reaching a point in the first half where we've seen the last bit of action, but you don't want to speak too soon.
No, we've seen the Hornets come up with some big plays on that 3rd down scenario. See if they go back to the air here.
See if they take a shot. Here's Morin dropping back. They will go with a screen up front, and that's bobbled and dropped. Bowles couldn't hang on to it. And now it gets a little bit interesting. 4th and 23, 15 seconds left. They've got a punt, and that might let DMacc try something to end the half.
I mean, you really think, there's probably not a great probability that they come up with a big score, but you never know. We see a lot of clutch plays here on Clutch Sports Media. See if maybe DMacc comes with a kick return or a big Hail Mary pass to end the half.
We certainly do. Clutch up. We're no strangers to key plays and key situations. Blumeyer back deep to return the punt. You've got to figure the punt is DMAC's best chance. Bounces in front of him. He's going to try to make a play from the 29. And he runs out of bounds immediately at the 36. 6 seconds left. Glad we have a clock, unlike last night. What do you do? It's risk-reward, kind of as you got after earlier.
Yeah, that was kind of a crafty play there on the kick return. Looked like he was just going to let it roll, but it's also a risky play. If you tip the ball, maybe Eureka gets the ball back, something like that. Well played, though. I say take a shot. Why not at the end of the half? You never know what can happen.
Heavy set here for DMacc, and that heavy set likely indicative of a knee. Taking a knee, Carson Cassidy. First time we've called his name tonight, and Cassidy ends the first half. Eureka 15, DMacc 8. Well, we saw a lot of action. Both offenses got moving. Eureka got after it earlier. Quick takeaways from half number 1.
Well, for DMacc, Brent Dennison had a great first half. He's only a sophomore, but he came up with a number of big plays. DMacc defensively didn't play all that well. They gave up 15 points, but they came up with some timely stops. Just weren't able to put it together quite consistently enough to stop them from those 2 touchdowns. And then you go over to the Eureka side. Again, they had some consistency issues in the middle of that first half, but they had enough big plays and enough effort there to get them the lead going into halftime.
15-8 at the halftime break. Before we take a break for halftime, a quick word for Tony Axelson State Farm in East Peoria. It's the real deal with a local feel. Give Tony Axelson a call at 309-685-7575 or visit TonyAxelson.com to learn more. Tony Axelson State Farm in East Peoria. 15-8 our score. Eureka on top of Dee-Mack at the half. It was a great first half with 3 touchdowns. You have the feeling we're in store for a lot more in half number 2. The Clutch Sports Media team back in Mackinaw after a quick pause for halftime. Welcome back to Mackinaw, Illinois, where Clutch Sports Media is live tonight for Heart of Illinois Conference football. And we have a good one for you at the halftime break, 15-8. The Eureka Hornets leading the DMacc Chiefs. Joey Wright and Gavin Russell in with you, along with the entire Clutch Sports Media team. Evan Johnson behind our computer. Francisco Alonso and Rodrigo Perez working social media for us tonight. And last but certainly not least, Jonathan Michael atop the press box running our camera this evening, bringing you a lot of great shots at home. Glad to have the call alongside my pal Gavin. And Gavin, what do you say we take some scores from around the area, or take a look at some scores from around the area, in the order that they appear on the scoreboard page of ClutchSportsIL.com. Starting with Princeville and Stark County, that's at halftime. Princeville 15, Stark County 7. Metamora trailing Canton in the second quarter, 21-8. That's news to me. That's the first time I'm looking through these scores. Could be a big win for the Canton Little Giants if they could get the job done. That's still in the second quarter. Washington 19, East Peoria scoreless in the second quarter. Manual on top of Richwoods 14-0. Rams looking for their first win of the season. That is still in the first quarter. No score for Blue Ridge and Peoria Heights. That's an 8-man game. Fieldcrest and Tremont listed as scoreless. They just announced over the PA system a moment ago that Tremont, a big leader there at halftime, want to say it was 32-6 as they reported here at Jim McDonald Field. No score for Illinois Valley Central and Rantoul in an Illini Prairie Conference game. Pekin 14, Limestone scoreless midway through the first quarter. Morton 21, Dunlap scoreless. That is still working through its first half. I believe that's in the second quarter, and that's where our radio crew is tonight. You can listen to the Friday Night Showcase powered by CSM on ESPN Peoria 101.1. That's what it looks like around the area. Gavin, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I mean, you got to look at the DMacc Chiefs. I mean, they had their guy running all over Eureka. That's Brent Dennison. You know, he came up with some big key runs in that first half and really was kind of the main reason they were moving the ball. But at the same time, they had a lot of people touching the ball. Eureka played a really solid game as well, and they relied on their big plays to kind of start out this game. But again, it's the second half. There's a lot of time left to go, and it's a very close game. It's a one-score game here at Jim McDonald Field. It should be a good one.
It's going to be key for DMacc to get a stop here, because this Eureka offense has turned it up seemingly on a dime tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Eureka has been very good. They've gone to the pass quite a bit, but at the end of that half, DMacc came back with a strong defensive effort, so we'll see what happens.
It's going to be a good second half. Two back deep to return for Eureka. It's a short kick. No one will field it as it goes out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. So that'll give Eureka favorable field position as we get set to start quarter number 3. And a quick word for tonight's sponsor. Glad to have Tony Axelson on board. Tony Axelson State Farm in East Peoria. Real deal with a local feel. Tony Axelson in East Peoria. Give him a call or visit his website, tonyaxelson.com. Phone number in the website on the bottom of your screen all evening long, rotating through depending on who has the ball. There you see his website, tonyaxelson.com. Eureka set to start things out at their own 35-yard line. Morin takes the snap, first one of Q3, fires it out. It's caught, and moving towards the 40-yard line, Justice Bachman.
They've been really relying on those quick, short passes to be able to just get the ball out quickly. DMacc's bringing pretty good pressure, and we'll see if they can continue to dial that up, as that was kind of the difference maker, stopping the pass. But we'll see maybe if they try to go to some early runs like they did in the first half.
Eureka did show run before they went pass heavy for a little while. The man who scored an 85-yard touchdown to start the scoring tonight, Carson Gold, lined up near us along the sideline. Morin high snap, good handoff this time. Carry goes to Bowles, and Mason Bowles to midfield. When Eureka has ran the ball, it's been Mason Bowles by and large.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've got a number of different weapons, and that's going to keep any defense off balance. They don't really know where the ball's going to go, but what they do know, it's going to be a big play if it gets in their hands in open field.
3 wide receivers for Morin, but he hands it off again to Mason Bowles. Bowles bowling through the line and near the first down marker. I think that's an accurate way to describe it, Gavin, because he dropped the shoulder and he was not going to be denied.
No, absolutely not. And second down, looked like he got that first down. It looks like right on the marker, but again, great run there.
Second and as close as you can get. And again, it's Mason Bowles. Bowles trying to get out to the far side. He's brought down. Nice tackle that time. The DMacc defense has been on it when they've had to be. Bowles the first down carry. There was so much movement in that tackle. Looked to me like the ball squirted out. It did not. That was just my eyes deceiving me as Bowles gets the carry and moves to the 20-yard line, or close to it.
Yeah, it looks like DMacc just needs to settle down here a little bit to start this half. Eureka's coming out quickly. They're breaking off big runs. They had a pass to start the half. They're just all over it, pushing DMacc back on their heels early on. See if DMacc can just kind of make a big stand to calm this one down.
Second down and short. Dropping back is Morin. Over the middle, it's caught and in for the touchdown. That's Manning again. Manning's second score of the night. Touchdown Hornets. 21-8 pending the extra point. And just over 2 minutes, I should say, into the quarter, the Hornets have struck back.
The Hornets were not looking to waste any time. I bet in the locker room, the message was we're not going to give this game up. They wanted to come out, extend that lead, and really take a hold of this game. Certainly doing that on a quick drive. A lot of big plays that just set up that big score.
Eureka back out to attempt another two-point conversion. Kicked an extra point after touchdown 1. Went for 2 after touchdown 2 and got it. And a pitch back, nifty play. This is Bowles looking for the pylon, reaches the hand out, the ball with it. And Mason Bowles converts the two-point conversion. Eureka out to a 23-8 lead. As I said, just over 2 minutes into the half. When Eureka wants to move the ball, they can move it so quickly.
Well, we saw they went with a almost no huddle action there once they started breaking off those runs, and DMacc really just did not have the time or the means to recover there. Now, obviously, it's disappointing. You give up that touchdown. You wanted to start the half better if you're the defense, but we saw this last half. Early score by the Hornets. DMacc kind of just reset, came out, played their game, and got a score themselves, so we'll see if they can do that here.
Quick word again for Tony Axelson, tonight's sponsor, Tony Axelson State Farm in East Peoria. It's the real deal with a local feel. Give Tony a call at 309-685-7575 or visit TonyAxelson.com. The real deal with a local feel. Nice ring to it. Easy website to remember. It's hisname.com.
Absolutely. A lot of great sponsors we've had. Great supporters of local high school athletics. Love to have them.
Axelson, again, one of our great sponsors indeed. Thankful for all the local support we've had this season. Kick fielded at the 10-yard line, and DMacc looking for something. This is, again, a return from Blumeyer.
A few things overheating here. Kind of the blocking getting a little more tense. Maybe the emotions are starting to spill over a little bit on the field, something to keep an eye on going forward.
We saw that on one play early in the first half. It was Carson Gold mixing it up with Taylor Birchtold, if I remember that correctly. Not an egregious play, but you could tell. Hung on a little bit, did both parties after the play. Bit of a rivalry game here tonight, and in a crucial spot. That's where both teams find themselves. Pass out to the flat and incomplete. That was about as close to a lateral as you can get while throwing it forward. Carson Cassidy incomplete there.
That's a tough play, but I like the idea the Chiefs are starting to expand the playbook a little bit, but maybe to start out here they'd be smarter to just try to go with some of those runs. We've seen that work quite a bit tonight, so just kind of set the tone, but at the same time kind of stick with what's been working. You just want to be able to move the ball.
There is no play to get 15 points at once. 2 in motion for DMacc. They stack that far side, and that sets up some favorable matchups on the near side for Blumeyer, and here's Blumeyer crossing the 45-yard line. The junior gets the job done again. Takes it up past the 45, right at the 45.
They don't necessarily need to abandon the idea of a pass because we've seen, there's been possibility of that working, just hasn't been executed perfectly. But again, setting the tone with that run game is important for him. It'll kind of spread out the Hornets' defense.
1st and 10. Eureka really likes the spot they're in, though, because if they can take away the run and force them to pass, especially early in the second half, makes it all the better for that Hornets defense, as it's a keeper here. Taking it is Carson Cassidy, who we called late in the first half. He kneeled it to end the first half. That's the first we saw of him tonight, at least touching the ball, and he's come in a couple of times. He was the target for that incompletion a moment ago. Gets the carry there. Cassidy is starting to become visible in the offense.
Looks like a good option run. Again, another sophomore out there for the Chiefs. So a lot of young presence, as we've talked about all night, coming up with another big play.
2nd and 4 after Cassidy's run. Again, a run that time for Denniston. Brent Denniston lit up just shy of the 40. And how would you describe this DMacc offense? Because they've rotated a couple of quarterbacks in. Baez now walks towards the sideline and gets the play from Cody Myers. He's probably who you'd call their quarterback when they want to pass it, but when they want to run it so often, they've just given it straight to Denniston and let him go to work.
Well, they're kind of all over the place. A lot of hands touching the ball. Even Baez, he's going to take it himself. We've seen a couple of design run plays, so you really never know where they're going to go.
See where they go on 3rd and short. Carry up the middle that time for Albritton. Tice Albritton, I don't believe has done any of that tonight. We've called his name a little bit, but he's not been so involved in the offense. Gets the first down there, so right as you say, we don't know what they're going to do. They give it to Tice Albritton for the first down.
Once again, Cody Myers knows his team really well, so he's going to be able to use so many different players and so many different facets, and right there we can see help a player that hasn't touched the ball much tonight but helps him pick up a first down.
Cody Myers, in his 2nd season at the helm of this DMacc program, came over from Canton. Didn't have all the success that the Chiefs wanted in year 1 last year, a COVID-impacted year with a lot of abnormalities, shall we say, but he's found his stride, and his team has found his stride in year 2. A terrific coach and a good roster that he's led to a 6-2 record.
Absolutely. Big turnaround. Eureka got the better of DMacc last year, so definitely something to keep in the back of your mind. Eureka coming up with a big win at DMacc last year, so definitely a little bit to prove here, but a good season overall for sure.
Chiefs find themselves at 6-2 here in Week 9. Eureka 5-3, both needing a win here to improve their playoff seeding. DMacc locked into the playoffs, and Eureka likely locked into the playoffs. You got to wait and see. If they get that 6th win, they're in for certain. 3rd down and 9.
We'll see how aggressive Cody Myers decides to be here. They got backed up a couple of times with that 3rd and long, 4th and long, and it did not work out well for them. See if maybe they try to break off a big chunk here for a first down or more.
There you see that Eureka defense. They need a stop here. 3rd and 9. Man in motion is Sherman. Sherman moving over to the right side of the line. 3 wide receivers, and dropping back is Cassidy. Cassidy, here's a screen up front and space up front. This is Sherman past the 20. Knocked out of bounds just inside the red zone. They're actually going to mark him out at the 21. It was a little questionable as to where exactly he went out, but got it into that vicinity. Sherman drives the truck and gets enough for the first.
I believe that's the 3rd attempted screen pass of this drive for the Chiefs, and 3rd time's a charm. I guess that one works out and takes a big chunky yardage off.
Now DMacc stacks 3 receivers to the left, and a snap, quick run up the gut, spinning and gaining a couple of yards. That time is Albritton. Tice Albritton, the sophomore.
Not a bad run there. Nice crafty moves. We've seen that from a number of these Chiefs players tonight. Lots of quick cuts, creating their own yardage. Lots of good playmakers. I think that's a big takeaway. A lot of good playmakers on DMacc.
This time it's Albritton with Baez in the backfield. Baez sending one in motion. Going to keep it himself, moving it towards that near side, and Eureka brings a couple in, and they will emerge with a nice stop there. A couple were in on the play. Carson Gold was right there. Mason Bowles as well. 3rd and 3.
They're taking off a pretty big chunk of time here as they take this drive. Eureka have scored pretty quickly tonight on most of their drives, so definitely need a score here to keep this one in striking distance.
Eureka scored in 2 minutes to start the half. This DMacc drive nearing 4 minutes as Albritton tries to move it to the right, and look at that Eureka. Defensive line get in, the linebackers get in as well. Marked down after forward progress stopped. Andon Evans given primary credit on the tackle, and I was waiting to see how they announced that because there were a couple of Hornets in there that you could have likely given that to.
Really solid tackling, but we've got Carson Cassidy who came out onto the field. See if they're trying to dial up something with him here. Maybe a designed run or something, but a big 4th down for the Chiefs.
Biggest 4th down of the game as the Chiefs find themselves trailing by 2 scores. Movement up front, and a flag comes in. And that looked like encroachment. DMacc celebrates like it is. And it is encroachment, and it is a 1st down on 4th and 3. So Cassidy comes in, the hard count, got him. He didn't even have to snap the ball.
Well, we've seen that a few times. DMacc just trying to just do the hard count, even just on a normal play. And, you know, again, you wear them down, you get them off guard, and some discipline issues here cost them a 1st down. Cost them a stop, I should say.
4 chances for the Chiefs. 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. Baez keeps it himself. Lowers the shoulder, got a yard more than what he would have otherwise on that. Took down Bachman and Gold. Mark him down at the 9, no progress. He's right back to where he started.
There's been a couple plays with Baez taking it himself where the players really just never had a good shot. The blockers weren't able to really get out there, open up a hole for him. Again, maybe see if they start to try to put it in some different people's hands to just try to change things up a little bit, open up a few gaps, and make a big play.
Tice Albritton has been a new guy this drive. Cassidy has been a name we've called more than ever as he takes the snap, rolls out, looks to pass, doesn't have anything down the field, will take it himself and in the end zone for a touchdown. The Chiefs fire back after Eureka scores quickly to start the half. They'll likely go for 2, and if they get it, it's a 1-score game.
Well, this is a big 2-point conversion here. Eureka's dialed up the aggressiveness. They need to come up with a big score here because Eureka has the potential to strike back very quickly. So, big set coming up here for DMacc and especially the next defensive possession for them. But we've got a really good ball game here.
Really good ball game is where we start to describe it, especially if DMacc can convert on this extra point, or 2-point conversion, I should say. They need this to make it a 2-score game. This is one of the bigger plays we've seen in the ball game. Baez back out onto the field. He's got Deniston right next to him. We'll see where the snap goes. A lot of motion as Baez keeps it himself. He's taken down close to the goal line and stopped short. The Eureka defense steps up and makes what could be the play of the game when we look back at this.
Big stand there, and I thought Baez was going to have just enough. I couldn't tell if he maybe got that front of his body where he was holding the ball over the goal line. It was awfully close, but again, either way, a big stop there for the Hornets, and we've seen them come up with some big defensive plays, but no bigger play than that right there.
We'll see if this game comes down to just a couple of points, how big that play might be. And a quick word for tonight's sponsor, Tony Axelson. Talk about big plays. We got to talk about Tony Axelson, State Farm in East Peoria. Give him a call at 309-685-7575 or visit his website, which you see right there, TonyAxelson.com. It's the real deal with a local feel. Tony Axelson, State Farm in East Peoria. Glad to have Tony on board tonight and glad to have you along for the ride. Tell your friends, your family. Heck, even tell people you don't like very much, right? ClutchSportsIL.com, the place to be. DMacc trailing Eureka. They'll need a stop, and Eureka has shown a couple of times they can score quickly. If they can fire off a quick score, how big would that be?
That would be huge. I mean, especially now that it's a 2-possession game, they could really put this one into their grasp. A big kickoff return could take that, but it'll be out of bounds.
Second consecutive kick we've seen from DMacc out of bounds. That will set the Hornets up with a relatively short field. They certainly were able to capitalize quick, and that's part of the reason why they were able to score in 2 minutes and 1 second. Their first drive of the half is because they started with the advantage of having the kick sail out of bounds. This time they'll start from the 35 as they did last time.
DMacc just really never got anything going defensively last time out, so look for them to just reset and step up here. We've seen some sacks, we've seen some tackles for loss, some near interceptions. See if they can do it.
First down and 10, 65 yards in front of the Hornets. Dropping back is Morin on the run, and he's looking for Bachman. That sails over Bachman's head, incomplete.
Really nice play there. Again, they're going to that pass. That one was a little deeper than we've seen quite a few. Usually it's those little out routes and then just let the players kind of work themselves into the open field. But nice job there from Lucas Blumeyer to come up and bat that ball away.
Blumeyer, primary kick returner tonight for DMacc. He's gotten a lot of carries in that offense, especially early on. Two-way player, as so many of these players are, can make it happen on the defensive end. Here's Morin looking for Bachman with one hand, just as Bachman hauls it in. Unfortunately for the Hornets, it's going to be a loss. But Justice Bachman with a little Odell Beckham action there on the far sideline.
We've seen that play a few times. The receiver in motion, he's going to kind of come out for that sideways pass. That time, DMacc recognized it, came up with a big stop. And again, open field tackling, getting him down right where he is, not allowing him to pick up anything extra after the initial contact.
Hornets stack it up towards us on 3rd and 12. Morin again rolling. He's got a lot of time. Fires one over the middle. It's caught by Gold at the 30-yard line. Carson Gold has an 85-yard touchdown run to his name tonight. The Hornets will hurry up. That might be the biggest single reception we've seen tonight.
Definition of clutch. We've seen that a few times. Late downs, 3rd, 4th down, and Eureka pulls off a huge play. Right there, another one, big-time clutch play.
From 3rd and 12 at the 37-yard line now to 1st and 10 at the DMacc 30. Again, trips left. That left is far side of the field is stacked. Morin fires one to Gold, this time much shorter. Gold shakes one man off. Two more come in to bring him down. Right on that Eureka bench.
This second half, it looks like Eureka's offensive line is starting to win that battle more so. It's kind of evenly contested in the first half, but these last couple plays, it's been great pass protection, great blocking up front that's allowed them to be able to get those passes off.
DMacc had a pair of key sacks in the first half, but you're right, Gavin, that Eureka offensive line made some adjustments in the halftime locker room. This time, DMacc coming in, and as we say that, it's another big sack. The pocket collapsed around Morin, and he had no time to make a decision that was going to save him.
Well, it was only so long before DMacc came in with the big play, and I think Cody Myers was just looking to dial something up here. But it's 3rd down. It's a long situation, so it looks good for the Chiefs. But we've seen so many times tonight the Hornets come out with a big play, even if it's not a 1st down, come out and pick up big yardage, and I would imagine they would try to go for it on 4th down.
Before 3rd down, is it 4-down territory, kind of in no man's land here?
I believe it's 4-down territory. They want to try to put this one away potentially early, see if they can pull it off.
DMacc will likely need 2 big stops here. Here's Morin, play action. Again, pressure from the Chiefs. Morin's in trouble, fires one over to Bachman, and Bachman has the catch. To the 13-yard line is Justice Bachman, and the junior continues to find himself in the right place at the right time.
Bachman, Morin, all incredibly clutch right there. That's a long situation. They're able to pull off not just a few yards, but a big chunk of yardage and pull off the 1st down.
Now the Hornets again will spread out some receivers. And up back in front of Morin, 1st and 10. The DMacc crowd quiet here as Morin rolls out of the pocket, rolls towards the 1st down marker as a flag comes in at the 10-yard line. We'll await the call. Eureka thinks it's coming back.
not a bad play call right there to utilize the open field, but penalties have hurt both of these teams at specific times in this game, and it is going to hurt them again.
It will be a hold against Eureka. And that's good news for DMacc. As much as we've said the phrase bend, don't break, which is the old football cliche, right? You let them move down the field, but don't let them score if you're a defense. Now you get the feeling that it's that for DMacc here, because would you say it's still 4-down territory?
Absolutely. I mean, they've gotten even closer now. I think even 10, 15 yards ago, this was 4-down territory. They're not interested in punting or trying to kick a field goal. They're interested in getting 6 or more points.
They'll have 4 tries for a first down at least if they choose to make it 4-down territory. After the hold, it's 1st and 17. Morin with Bowles behind him. 2 wide receivers up top, and here is Morin. Morin in trouble, shakes off a would-be sack and fires to the corner of the end zone, incomplete. That was a good ball to Drew Dingeldine, and I know it sailed out of bounds, Gavin, but you want to put it where the defense isn't going to get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a bit of a dangerous throw. He was under pressure. Not saying he just tries to throw that one away necessarily, but you throw it too short, maybe there's a tip ball, and DMacc could come up with an interception. Just good pressure there from the DMacc defensive line, and starting to go DMAC's way a little bit, but we've seen so many turnaround plays from Eureka's offense. It's hard to say they're out of it right now.
2nd and 17. This will likely be the last play of the third quarter. 8 seconds remaining. Here's Morin going to handle the work himself. He gains 3 yards on 2nd and 17, and that'll take us to the third quarter. Nice to know, with 8 seconds left, what's going on, right, after last night?
Absolutely. That was a bit of a tough game, especially one as close as it was, not to know the time or the yard and down and distance, all those good things. It's wonderful to have it at beautiful Jim McDonald Field.
Jim McDonald Field, a stellar facility here for the DMacc Chiefs. It's just a couple of years old. Great to be out here tonight. Also great to have Tony Axelson on board tonight. Tony Axelson, State Farm in East Peoria. It's the real deal with a local feel. Visit TonyAxelson.com or give Tony a call, 309-685-7575. Glad to have Tony on board tonight. Enjoyed talking with him throughout the week. Great to have him on board this evening. And hopefully in the future, Tony Axelson, State Farm in East Peoria.
Absolutely. Again, one of our many great sponsors. A lot of great local businesses supporting high school athletics. It's awesome. Everybody getting out after a year, so down. You know, no fans really in the stands. The excitement kind of went away a little bit, but it's great to be in full swing action again, and we're bringing you all the action on Clutch Sports Media.
That's right. After the COVID-impacted 2020-21 school year, you know, so much was in flux, so much was abnormal, just wonky, and it's been great to have a normal-feeling 2021 season. Football going, volleyball as well, getting set to start the postseason. Some classes already have. Soccer and cross-country as well this fall. Hope I'm not leaving anything out, as it's a big 3rd and 14 for Eureka. Gold in motion. Gold is going to pass it, looking to the end zone and incomplete. Gold took the end around there from Morin, and it's the kind of a, not quite a Philly special, but one of those trick plays of the same ilk.
The double pass sort of thing there couldn't quite work there. Nice rallying there by the defensive backs for DMacc. They've been pretty solid all night, especially on those deep balls. Just been those short passes, and it's 4-down territory. But no, it's going to be a field goal. Nope. Yeah, it is going to be a field goal try for Eureka.
It's going to be a 34-yard field goal attempt for Mason Trent. Good snap, good hold, line drive, kick is no good. Had enough on it, but misses wide, and the 34-yard field goal from Mason Trent, no dice.
Absolutely a really tough kick at the high school level. Obviously, a lot of teams don't have a ton of big leg high school kickers. That's a tough kick, though. really on any field, any scenario. But a good stop by Dee-Mack. They leave that door open for them to get back into this game just starting into the fourth quarter here, 11 seconds in. A lot of time left for them to get back into this game, and they'll need a big drive here, ending in a touchdown.
First down and 10 from the 17, the spot where the field goal missed wide, and Trent 1 of 1 on his extra point attempts. That miss, though, could leave the door open for Dee-Mack. Back to pass is Cassidy, and again, the line collapses, not necessarily again for Dee-Mack. They haven't passed a ton, but we've seen a couple of big sacks throughout the game for the Chiefs. This time they fall victim to that here.
To me, that appeared almost like it was he was going to fake the opportunity to pass. He did that on that, I believe it was the 2-point conversion try or the last touchdown, where he looked like he was going to pass but took it himself. Looked like a design play, perhaps. Eureka was all over that one, though.
It's a big play on first down. Let's see what the Chiefs elect to do on 2nd and 10. Chiefs needing a score. Flag comes in right as the ball is snapped, and that so often means false start.
Yeah, that's something that's really going to hurt. It's hurt both teams on a number of occasions tonight, more so in the first half. Dee-Mack, though, really could not afford to have that right now. They're going to have a big play on 2nd down. I'd imagine it'd have to be 4-down territory at this point. They need 6 or more on this drive to be right back in this game.
Silver lining for the Chiefs, perhaps, is that stop the clock temporarily, although it runs. And now a timeout is called. It was only going to temporarily stop the clock. You figure maybe that plays some sort of role in letting him get set, but Cody Myers wants a timeout, doesn't quite like what he has.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity to reset if you're Dee-Mack. You've got, a couple downs to work with here. You're not out of this. You don't have to necessarily feel like it's a lost drive at this point, but you definitely need to break off something big here. You need to start pushing back at that Eureka defense that's come out with a really strong presence so far. And, if you're Dee-Mack, you just got to feel like you're one big play away from being right there neck and neck with Eureka. And, again, it's a very close game at that. So, big play here to watch on 2nd down.
2nd and 15. We'll see how aggressive the Eureka defense wants to be. They'll send Bachman back deep as the safety. 3 wide receivers for Dee-Mack as the crowd makes a little bit of noise. Here's Baez rolling out. Baez looking for the sideline, nearly intercepted by Dingledine. Was looking for Blumeyer, but Dingledine came in and nearly made the better play. He did make the better play.
Absolutely. That was a great read by him, and I think even if he catches that ball, he's getting shut down immediately. Could have popped the ball free, but left nothing to chance there and just decided to knock the ball away. Good idea there from Cody Myers' squad, just could not quite get the execution on it.
3rd down and 15 now. What's your play call on 3rd and 15? Knowing you maybe got to be a little more conservative this side of the field.
Yeah, I think you're definitely going to want to try to keep it on the ground, at least pick up a few yards.
The ball is on the ground in the worst way possible for Dee-Mack, and I was looking to see how that play was going to develop up front. I lost the ball and wasn't quite sure where it went, and Dee-Mack lucky to fall on top of that at the 5-yard line.
To me, it appeared that maybe they were trying to go with some laterals or something there. Maybe the quarterback took it and he was trying to maybe pitch it off or throw it off, something like that, and then it kind of just got muffed somewhere. They're lucky to come up with it, but yeah, absolutely not it's a country mile situation, and I think you got to go with the punt here at least to try to save yourself.
By 2 yards, it's 4th and 25. High punt, arcing and falling and taking a Hornets bounce. Eureka's going to start this almost at the red zone. At the 23 is where they'll mark it off. Not the drive that Dee-Mack needed on the offensive end, and that opens the door for Eureka.
Yeah, Eureka, I think at this stage in the game, really what they need to do is they need to just play pretty consistently. They don't want to shoot themselves in the foot, making a turnover or coming down with a 3-and-out, something like that. They need to just continue to move the ball, and if nothing else, try to get at least 3 points.
1st and 10 for Morin. And he'll pitch it back to Bowles. Mason Bowles looking for the far side. Doesn't have anything, and that's a good start for Dee-Mack on play one. Bowles wrapped up, lost a couple of yards, and Baez comes in and makes the stop.
You can live with it because you're in the short field, but once again, if you leave that crack open for DMacc, you don't want to give them any opportunity. If you're Eureka, you want to just try to put this one away, but not in something that will hurt you.
2nd and 13. If you're just joining us, Eureka missed a field goal on its last time out, but that offense has proven to have some firepower at various points tonight. Here's Mason Bowles with some firepower, spinning it outside to the sideline. Mason Bowles, not quite enough for the first down, but it will set up a 3rd and very manageable situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Great response play there, and then, man, they're going to be real close to that first down line. They're going to move the sticks, so big play there for the Hornets. Now they put themselves in a position where they should be able to put at least some points on the board, barring a turnover or something that nature. But overall, a really good set there from Eureka. They're leaving nothing to chance here, trying to cash in the victory early in the 4th quarter.
Got 13 yards on 2nd and 13. Officials timeout as they stop play temporarily. They'll wind it. Just to take over 9 minutes left. Stop clock for Morin. High snap, feeds to Bowles. And Bowles has eaten well tonight as he gets a nice gain on 1st and 10.
Really smart idea on this drive to be able to just kind of hand the ball off. Obviously, you're doing some pitch action, kind of taking it up the middle on that last play. They're going quick here, which is interesting. Maybe just trying to get the score quick.
Trying to stay within their tempo. Here's Bowles again in trouble. But again, that spin move that he's employed so often tonight finds something as the play was ending. Gets enough to get it close. It'll be 3rd and inches.
I don't think they're interested in necessarily just grinding away at the time. They want to just take that 2-score lead as quickly as possible.
DMacc needs a stop. Eureka could really use a score to get a little insurance on this one late. Here's a keeper for Morin on a sneak up the middle. Stopped a yard short of the goal line, but that's going to be enough for a first down, 1st and goal.
4 chances here at the goal line. It seems improbable that the Chiefs would stop it, but we've seen some big plays. Maybe they come up with something here on first down.
Hornets moving quickly. Morin under center. Again, will try the sneak. It's a battle up front, and that pile moves forward into the end zone for a Eureka touchdown. A 1-yard rush for Jacob Morin. Does it himself to cap the drive off, and the Hornets go 23 yards for the score. And looking at the score, you know, it's going to be interesting. Do you kick the extra point, take that 16-point lead? Do you try it for the 2-point conversion, which would make it a 3-score game?
You know, that's a really interesting call, and, you know, I think I could see either case there, just taking the potential point. Looks like they're going to stay and try for 2. Not a bad option. I mean, you're already up 2 scores now. Might as well just add and ensure your lead a little more.
Morin lines up with Bowles. Rolls out of the pocket. Pressure comes. He fires across the field. He was in trouble. It's incomplete in the end zone. Almost a terrific catch from Manning. With 2 touchdowns to his name tonight, that's not a bad target. Cameron Manning just couldn't haul that one in trouble.
The bigger receiver, he went up for that ball, but great job by those defensive backs, not allowing him to fully secure it. They didn't necessarily try to tip that ball right away, but they made him kind of force the ball out, and as a result, they're not able to get 2 extra points. But a good drive there. I mean, take advantage of the short field and pad that lead a little bit more, a little insurance, so to speak.
Eureka gets a little bit of insurance, and speaking of insurance, that's the perfect time to mention tonight's sponsor, Tony Axelson. The real deal with a local feel. That's Tony Axelson State Farm in East Peoria. Give Tony a call at 309-685-7575 or visit TonyAxelson.com. The number and the website rotating along the bottom of your screen all evening long as the teams switch scores. Coming out for the kickoff, it'll be the phone number down there. Glad to have Tony Axelson on board tonight. Tony Axelson, State Farm in East Peoria. And now, Gavin, this is a big situation for DMacc. It goes without saying. That stop on the two-point conversion, though, sets it up to where it could be interesting down the stretch with a quick score. A kick returned at the 10-yard line by Blumeyer, and Blumeyer staying on his feet just shy of the 30, brought down between the 30 and the 25.
And if it's just me coming onto this drive, I feel like we really haven't heard Brent Dennison's name a whole lot here in the second half. Leads me to believe maybe he has experienced some injury or something like that. We'll see if he gets back on this drive. That would certainly be huge for the Chiefs, but they're going to need somebody else to step up otherwise. Make a big play here, and they definitely need a quick scorer to get back into this one.
If you're just joining us, Brent Denniston was so key for the DMacc offense early on. Low snap, and falling on it is Carson Cassidy. Cassidy gets down and covers it up. The door is open for DMacc. This game's not over yet, but they need 2 scores, and mistakes like that aren't going to help them out.
Yeah, that was much of their last drive as well, just mistakes. I believe they had a penalty on that last drive. Now you set yourself up with a 2nd and long, and you're going the wrong direction. Nice time for maybe a mental reset here. Get a play you feel pretty comfortable with and at least pick up a few yards.
From 1st and 10 to 2nd and 14, DMacc on its own 26-yard line. Empty backfield, shotgun formation, and another low snap, and Cassidy will again fall on it. And miscommunications up front starting to plague the Chiefs.
Yeah, the offensive line has been a big thing all night. It's more so we've talked about the blocking, but you got to factor in too. Got to snap the ball, got to be able to get it in your quarterback's hands to make something happen, and that's 2 errant snaps in a row. Really tough 3rd down situation. Almost certainly they'll have to take a big shot here, at least tear off a chunk of yardage, if not a 1st down.
First play of the drive went backwards for 4, second backwards for 5. Cassidy just went over to the sideline to get the play call from Cody Myers. 3 wide receivers. Cassidy this time has someone in the backfield along with him. Eureka trying to bring some pressure through the line, and it's caught by Sherman in the flat, and Gabe Sherman's brought down at the 20-yard line.
Not much the blockers could have done there. There was only 2 Chiefs over to block on that screen pass, and a whole pack of Hornets coming over to swallow up that play. And 4th down and not quite a country mile, we could say, but still very long and bad situation here for the Chiefs. As it looks like they're going to elect the punt again.
Both teams with all 3. No, pardon me, DMacc with 2 timeouts left. Eureka with all 3 of its timeouts remaining, and a punt end over end. Good punt for the Chiefs. Takes an okay bounce to the 40-yard line. Ethan Baez has ripped off a couple of nice punts tonight. That one sets the Hornets up with 40 yards to gain. So just north of 5.5 minutes left. 2 timeouts for the Chiefs, but you've got to figure a good drive from Eureka here with just a couple of 1st downs. If it doesn't in the game, it puts Eureka, or it puts DMacc rather, in a tough spot.
Well, absolutely. You know, Eureka, even if they wouldn't even score here, if they picked up a 1st down or 2, they could get themselves in a spot where they could chew enough clock to not really give DMacc any shot to get back into this game. So we'll see. They just kind of just try to grind it out here, maybe pick up a 1st down or 2 and not give DMacc the shot.
Warren in the backfield along with Bowles. Bowles gets the carry. And Bowles lost 2 on the play, so the DMacc front line steps up, and that's the play they needed as they mark him about a half-yard shy of where the play started. They give him forward progress.
Ball security is big here. You know, you're carrying the ball, but there's a lot of bodies coming at you. You want to make sure you don't lose control. Obviously, the offensive line has to keep their consistency rolling, make sure they're snapping the ball well, because one big turnover here could be huge for DMacc. So, again, it's really just kind of in the hands of Eureka right now. They control the fate of this game.
And they come out with 4 wide receivers and a running back on 2nd and 10. The running back is Bowles. Unsurprisingly, he gets the carry on 2nd and 10. Takes it to the 37 before he's brought down. And Mason Bowles, a guy that maybe gets a little overshadowed by Carson Gold's big run early, by Justice Bachman and Drew Dingledine in the passing game, Manning with 2 touchdowns, and of course Morin's play at quarterback, but Bowles has been rock solid tonight.
Absolutely. He's big in these situations. He's just kind of more of a strong back role, kind of grind it out for those yards, and we'll see if he can get enough for the first down or at least get themselves close for a 4th and short.
3 wide receivers. Here's Morin firing over the middle, tipped and incomplete. So 4th down and 7 coming up, and big for the Chiefs as the clock stops.
Interesting call for me there. I probably would have put the ball back on the ground in the hands of Bowles or one of those other running backs. They elect to go to the pass, maybe to just try to pick that first down up quick, but excellent awareness from the Chiefs secondary. They're going to bring the either punt or kick team on here. Huge 3-and-out forced by the Chiefs.
And I wanted to make sure that they did come out in a punt formation. Mason Trent on for the punt. Would have been an exceptionally long field goal to try it from the 37. And a mishandled return. Eureka has it at the 5-yard line. It was a good punt from Trent. Took him to the 5-yard line, and that's maybe a case of trying to do a little too much there inside the 5. Trying to make a play there, but that's going to cost DMacc in a big way late in the game.
I'm sure so many of these DMacc playmakers want to step up and just kind of make that defining play. They can turn things around late in the game, but got to be able to secure the ball first. And a little discussion here back from where the players are. Not sure exactly what the situation is here.
Our officials get together. There was a flag down on the play near the line of scrimmage. They get together and announce it. I want to make sure that we've got that right because I didn't see a flag come in. I'm with you. Wow, they're going to replay the down on 4th and 7.
That is a huge break for DMacc right there, and you would have to think they're definitely going to want to say we don't want to do something like that again. If it needs to be a fair catch, it needs to be a fair catch. They at least want to get themselves the ball. And interesting there for Eureka. I'm not exactly sure what the call was there. Appeared to be a penalty on Eureka.
I did not see a flag down. I'll ask our producer, Evan Johnson. He didn't see a flag come down, so not quite sure what the ruling there is. But they will replay the down from the 37 on 4th and 7 here. And DMacc will have another opportunity. This is a low snap and a busted play. Mason Trent in trouble, and he's brought down for a loss. The snap skipped back to Trent. There we go. That's a big play for DMacc.
How the tables have turned. I mean, just in a matter of, a minute, we went from Eureka on about the 5-yard line after that fumbled punt return. Now DMacc comes up in a big way on 4th down and shuts down that punt right at midfield and a chance to make a big play to get back into this game.
As big as mishandled snaps have been for DMacc, and on the sideline a moment ago I saw Cassidy and his center Bradley Hawkins working on snaps. Could be one that opens the door for them late in this game. We'll have to see. 1st and 10 for the Chiefs, and the Chiefs trying to develop the play towards us. Handoff went to Blumeyer. Blumeyer gained 2 on the play as he's a little slow to get up.
Still no Brent Dennison. There must be an injury or something like that. I figured he'd be out here by this point. That would be a huge loss late in the game for DMacc.
2nd and 8 after the 2-yard carry and an errant pass out to the flat and Blumeyer again. And yeah, that could be big for the Chiefs down the stretch, the absence of Brent Denniston, who was so key earlier. Who steps up in his absence, presuming we don't see him down the stretch, and again, not sure as to why that may be.
Well, there's a number of names you could go to, but I look at the quarterback, Ethan Baez. We saw him on the errant pass there. He has the potential to maybe make a play. He's not in the game, it doesn't look like at the moment, but maybe look for the senior to come up with something big if they can get a first down here.
3rd and 8. Chiefs need a conversion. Rolling out of the pocket is Cassidy. Cassidy has to get rid of it, fires over the middle in traffic, and incomplete. Flag comes in late. It's down at the 45-yard line, line of scrimmage the 48, and that was an ineligible receiver down the field for the Chiefs.
I figured they may get a Chiefs player on that, maybe a hold. Had a little extra time there, maybe a little tug from the lineman, but it was just ineligible man downfield. Still going the wrong direction here for the Chiefs. They got the defense working. The offense just has not been able to catch up here much in the second half. We'll see if they can get a big response here on 3rd down. They'll need a clutch play to move the sticks.
3rd and 13. The halftime score was 15-8 favoring Eureka. Eureka has added 2 scores since. DMacc has added 1. 1 in motion, play action. Cassidy steps up, fires, Baez stepping up and completing it down the far sideline. It's hauled in. That's the play DMacc needed. A huge conversion on to set up a 1st and 10 from 3rd and 13.
Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, Baez had the potential to be somebody who could do something big for DMacc. Strong arm showing off there, great accuracy, and the senior comes up with a big throw.
It's completed out to Drew Butler, number 11 in red. Clock runs 2:40, designed run up the middle, and some space inside the 10. DMacc's offense moving it, and that's the return of Brent Deniston.
Big time for his return. Maybe looking to play hero here. DMacc needs to keep moving the ball as they get up to the line quickly.
Deniston had gone silent. Big run there to set up 1st and goal from the 9. Gets the carry here. He's in the end zone for a DMacc touchdown. Extra point pending. If the DMacc Chiefs go for 2, it's a 1-score game again.
What a return by Brent Deniston right there. All set up by that big pass by Ethan Baez, and the big plays, that's what they needed. A big clutch play to come up and get that score, but it's going to be interesting to see here if they elect to kick the PAT, but they're going to go for 2.
It's Baez with Deniston. Goes directly to Deniston. Deniston's in trouble, though. He's got to keep the play going. A second effort to the goal line. He stopped short. Tried to reach it out for the goal line and just couldn't get it. It's still a 2-score game.
That is a huge stop by the Hornets. The Hornets had a lot of breathing room there. They come up with the stop. They still probably feel pretty good about their chances here, especially with the 2-score lead.
29-20 as the clock stops. 2:18 left in regulation. DMacc has turned it on, but they're still going to need a lot of help here late. We'll see if a miracle is in store at Jim McDonald Field tonight. Tonight's coverage brought to you by Tony Axelson State Farm in East Peoria. The real deal with a local feel. Give Tony Axelson a call at 309-685-7575 or TonyAxelson.com. Real deal with a local feel. Tony Axelson in East Peoria. 29-20. If you're just joining us, it has been a back-and-forth affair in Mackinaw tonight. The Hornets took an early lead, 7-0. DMacc stormed back, went ahead 8-7. The Hornets retook the lead. We went 15-8 at halftime, and the Hornets have not trailed since, scored their first touchdown of the second half, 2 minutes into the half. DMacc trying to get back into this one late. Fielded by the up man. That wasn't quite a squib kick, wasn't quite an onside kick from the way we saw it. Probably you could call that an onside kick with a little power on it.
Yeah, we saw a lot of onside kicks yesterday with Peoria High and Peoria Notre Dame. Looked a little hard, but you never know. It can bounce off the receiving team's hands. Nice job by the up man there to just come down with that ball, and right at midfield, a chance to kind of put this one away if they can bleed a little bit of clock here, but still need to move the ball forward and avoid maybe another 3-and-out here, see if the Chiefs' defense has something left in them.
Chiefs with 2 timeouts. Best way for DMacc to get the ball back is to force a turnover or get the ball back, score at an onside kick. Not over yet, but Eureka has a chance to execute and put it away, ahead by 2 scores. Just north of 2 minutes left. Here's Morin. Morin, a handoff to Bowles. Gavin DMacc's got to kind of sell out for that run up the middle, and that time they were awaiting Bowles' return.
Yeah, absolutely, but still a really good run there by Bowles. Bowles just kind of pushed up through the middle there, kept the legs turning, maybe made a cut back to the middle of the field. And again, it's about moving that ball forward, those little 3-4 yard runs. If you do it a couple of times, put yourself in a chance to move the sticks, and obviously you're bleeding a lot of clock right now.
2nd down and 8. 2 wide receivers, 1 to each side, but we're keeping our eye on Bowles in the backfield behind Morin. DMacc stacks the box. Clock continues to run. Play clock at 5 as the ball is snapped, and Bowles with space up the middle, and that might do it. He's tripped up after getting more than enough for the first down. Signals that he has the first down, and Bowles brought down by the shoestrings, almost broke it off for a touchdown, and that might be the exclamation mark on a big win for Eureka if they can hold on.
Yeah, majority of this second half, it seems like the Eureka offensive line has come out and won that battle up front and certainly created a hole there for Bowles. Bowles just kind of burst out with that speed and really had a lot of green grass to run. Big run that likely puts this one away. Looks like a big win for the Hornets.
2 timeouts for DMacc. They've not tapped into that reservoir quite yet. Play clock at 3. Synced up with the game clock in terms of the individual number of seconds left. And a timeout called right as the play clock expires by Eureka. Mathematically, the game is over if they take a knee on it. DMacc can stop the ball twice, or can stop the clock twice, but with a 40-second play clock, it's going to run out sooner rather than later.
Yeah, 2 scores down. I mean, you know, if DMacc would have gotten that 2-point conversion, things would be a lot more interesting, but it seems like DMacc just kind of wearing down now with 59 seconds left. And you never know what can happen, though. Maybe a turnover, something like that. Maybe they at least add another score if they can do something like that. But all signs pointing to a big win for Eureka on the Rivals field.
What was the game that went viral early in the season? One of those national showcase games? Was it IMG Academy?
Yeah, Bishop Sycamore.
Bishop Sycamore was, yes. I always confuse those big-time programs. But they were on the opposite end, I want to say, right? Or were they the team that came back early on?
No, Bishop Sycamore, I believe, was the team.
Because I've got them confused with Bishop.
It was the same night.
It was the same night as all that was going on. Eureka takes a knee.
I got you.
So that might because that was the same night. But who's the Bishop team that is really good? You know what I'm.
Personally, I can't think of it. I can only think of Bishop Sycamore.
Well, they took all the headlines after they kind of overshadowed everything in high school football for a few weeks. They played IMG. I don't know. It doesn't really. You know what I'm talking about, though. That big crazy comeback.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like we're going to see that here tonight as Eureka takes a knee. Yeah, crazy amount of chaos happening late. Play clock down to 5, so we've got one more snap left in this one.
Looks like they're just going to call the game. And
it does. No need to snap it as the play clock expires and we go under 10 seconds left to play. The teams line it up. That'll be your final from Jim McDonald Field tonight. 29-20 Eureka. Both teams will finish the season at 6 wins, 3 losses. And both, we can say for certainty now, will play in the IHSA playoffs that start next week. Eureka was pretty much clinched entering this week. That 6th win gets them in for certainty and sets up big ambitions for both these teams as the playoffs get set to start.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're DMacc, you got to be disappointed that you weren't able to pull out the win here on senior night. But you look at it as a good tune-up, like you mentioned, for the state playoffs. They're obviously going to be able to identify some of the mistakes they made tonight, clean up a few things on both sides of the ball, and they should go in much stronger next week in the first week of the playoffs. You know, as for Eureka, they played a really well-rounded game. They were controlled most of the second half, and I think that was what they were trying to do. Come out, make a statement in the second half and they clinch themselves a playoff spot, they could make some noise in the state playoffs.
Both these teams you got to watch out for. If you can get in, you just got to start winning. These teams won't be seated quite as highly as they'd like with 6 wins, but not quite as lowly as it could have been either, especially for Eureka needing that 6th win entering the week. They get it tonight. One more word for Tony Axelson, State Farm in East Peoria. Glad to have Tony on board tonight, TonyAxelson.com, or by phone at 309-685-7575. It's the real deal with a local feel. Tony Axelson, State Farm in East Peoria, on board tonight, and that number and website on the bottom of your screen. You see the number now as we start to wrap things up. And real quick, that comeback I was talking about was Bishop Gorman. They were on the other end of that against Hamilton High School early in the season, but you know, guys know what I'm saying. Now you got the Bishop in there. You say Sycamore. Of course, I was following that story as it happened, but that was how that played out that night. Any final thoughts as we start to put a bow on this one, Gavin?
No, really well played game by both teams. There's a lot of big action. I think, both teams passed a little more than I thought they would. I thought we'd see more plays on the ground, but at the end of the day, whatever it took to make the big play and for Eureka to get the victory, they played really well tonight. A lot of big players, a lot of players we could mention, but I think you got to go with Eureka's Jacob Moore, and the quarterback made a lot of big plays, really controlled the offense under center, and was a big reason they got the victory tonight.
Jacob Morin made throws when he needed to, runs when he needed to, helped the Hornets get the job done tonight. A 29-20 final score at Jim McDonald Field in East Peoria. Thanks for joining us tonight. It was a wild one, but it is Eureka on top as we send it off the air. I'm Joey Wright with Gavin Russell. Our entire crew, Evan Johnson, just alongside us on the computer tonight. Francisco Alonso and Rodrigo Perez on social media. And Jonathan Michael up top. We'll get him off the roof in just a second behind our camera tonight, giving you great shots all evening long. This has been a presentation of Clutch Sports Media. Thank you for watching, and join us for the playoffs. Thanks for watching this evening.